Wish a very good morning to all the students of class 4. Today I will teach you a new chapter from your SST book, that is chapter 12, water. So all of you open your book, page number 81. Alright, so let us proceed. In this chapter we will learn about the sources of water, means from where do we get water, where water comes from, and methods of irrigation. What are the uses of water? As we all know, water is very important and very essential resource for that is used for variety of purposes. All living creatures requires fresh water for drinking and for doing other activities too, but especially for drinking. Human require fresh water to drink, cook, bath and clean. Plants need water to grow. Even the most fertile soil cannot yield crops unless the soil is watered. Water is needed in every industry and agriculture. Sources of water. Now we will read about the sources of water. Major portion of the earth is covered by water, which is in the form of ocean, seas, rivers, lakes and ice. The icebergs that float on the water and also the ice that are there on the top of the mountain peaks. So, more than 97% of the earth's water is salty. Hence, this salty water is not suitable for domestic, industrial, or agricultural use. Only 3% of the earth's water is fresh water. Fresh water is a renewable resource. There are three main sources of fresh water. They are rainwater, surface water, and groundwater. Very important. The fresh source of water or the sources of fresh water are rainwater, surface water, and groundwater. The primary source of fresh water is the rain. Distribution of rainfall is not uniform in India. It differs from region to region. Some parts get very heavy rainfall while some parts get scanty rainfall. Now, the rainfall varies from one place to another depending on the landform and the situation of that area, uh, whether it is a coastal area or a plateau region or whatever mountain area. The rainfall depends on that, on the geography of that area. So, let us move on. What is groundwater? See a yellow box over there. When you dig a hole in the sand beside a lake or a seashore, you will see water surfacing. This is the groundwater. So now all of you know what is groundwater. Let us move on to the next page. Page number 82. Surface water includes water from rivers, lakes, streams and ponds. The major perennial rivers like Ganga, Yamuna, Brahmaputra, and Godavari provide water throughout the year. Groundwater is formed by rain, sleet, and snow. As the rainwater falls on the ground, it is absorbed into the soil and passes down and reaches a level deep inside the ground where it settles down. Now we will learn about the methods of irrigation. Agriculture is the main occupation throughout the world. Farmers require water for their crops. During the dry season, water is drawn by different methods to irrigate the field. The different methods used for irrigation are canals, tanks, tube wells, and wells. Now, water canals. Water from the river is brought to the fields by digging small channels from the rivers. These are called canals. Sometimes the water is stored in an artificial reservoir or lake by constructing a wall across the river to hold the water. This is called a dam. Dams have gates that can be opened or closed to control the flow of water. They are called sluice gate. Water from these reservoirs is taken to the fields by canals. The Indira Gandhi Canal in Rajasthan has provided water for irrigation and converted the desert into a fertile land. Now, the Indira Gandhi Canal in Rajasthan has brought a lot of changes in the procedure of irrigation in Rajasthan and made almost a barren land into a productive agricultural and fertile land. So, this is very important that Indira Gandhi Canal has provided water for irrigation and converted the desert into a fertile land. Next point is about tanks. Places where it is difficult to dig canals or wells, tanks or ponds are built and rainwater is collected in them. During the dry season, this water is used for irrigation. This method of tank irrigation, is followed in South India. In cities and towns, people get clean drinking water through taps. Now, next point is, you can see a picture of water canal and water tank given over here. Next point is about tube wells. In places where groundwater or water table are very deep, tube wells are installed using a drilling machine. A deep bore is dug into the ground until the water table is reached. Tubes are fitted in these bores and water is drawn out using electric pumps. Tube wells are used for irrigation in Gujarat, Haryana, Punjab and Uttar Pradesh. This is also called, using a submersible that is used to pull out the groundwater in order to use it for irrigation purposes. Next point is about wells. A well is an open hole dug in the ground. The water is drawn out from the well using a mechanical device called the water wheel, also known as a Persian wheel. Water is also drawn through a pump set using electricity. The sources of fresh water are the rivers, lakes and underground water. Fresh water is a renewable resource. However, with the increase in population, its supply is decreasing gradually. The primary source of fresh water is the rain. Distribution of rainfall is uneven in India. Some parts of India get very heavy rainfall while some parts get scanty rainfall. We need water throughout the year to grow crops. Next point, we will read about the dams. Dams plays a very important role, and their dams are very important, and it plays a important role. Many of the dams built over rivers are used to generate electricity, which is also called hydroelectricity. Electricity that is generated or produced with the help of water is called hydroelectricity. This type of electricity generated is called hydroelectricity or tidal power. Dams are used to control floods and they help in fish breeding. Hence, dams are often called as multi-purpose projects. Some of the important dams of hydroelectric project in India are Bakra Nangal Dam, Damodar Valley Project, Sardar Sarovar Dam, Nagarjuna Sagar Dam and Harikud Dam. So we will now read in details about these dams. As you can see over here, a picture of the dam. It can block the flow of the water, and when the water level rises, the gates of the dams are open in order to prevent the dam from getting cracked or any other kind of disaster. And the water level, in order to maintain the water level, the gate of the dams are open so that the excessive water can flow out. Bakra Nangal Dam. This dam is built across the river Satluj, situated near the border between Punjab and Himachal Pradesh. This is Asia's second highest dam, measuring 740 feet in height. The reservoir of the dam is known as Gobind Sagar, which is the second largest reservoir in India. Next is the Damodar Valley Dam. This dam is built across the river Damodar in Bihar. It was initially constructed to control floods for irrigation, power generation and transmission of electricity for the state of Bihar and West Bengal. Next point is about, you can see the picture of Damodar Valley project just on the right hand side, top right hand side of your book of page number 84. Next is the Sardar Sarovar Dam. This dam is built across the river Narmada in Gujarat. The dam irrigates drought-prone areas of Kutch and Saurashtra. Nagarjuna Sagar Dam is another dam. This dam is built across the river Krishna in Andhra Pradesh. This is the largest dam in the world, built using stones and bricks. The dam provides water for irrigation to few districts in Andhra Pradesh. Next point is about Harikod Dam. The dam is built across the river Mahanadi in Odisha. It is one of the world's longest earthen dams. So this was the chapter about water and its uses and the various techniques that is used for irrigation purposes in order to use the water in a proper way. I hope all of you have understood the chapter. You must read the chapter 2 to 3 times in order to understand it better. So, thank you.